did our accountable talk to get everybody back on task. Like, you know, for example, I was at this group, they did a great job. They had a little bit of struggle with people being on task, and Robert did an excellent job trying to get his group back. He took his role very seriously, and it was really good. And one thing I just told Robert was that he just has to stay calm, and when people are on task, he just has to pull the group back together and say, hey, you know, guys, that's a great point, but we're a little after task. Let's get back onto it instead of yelling at one another. Okay? So that's something that we're going to continue to work on. So that's still one of our goals for this is using our task manager appropriately and having them communicate with each other appropriately. Okay? What's the other role that we were working on in the second half of the task? Not the task manager, but the
cloud shoulders.
Omar?
Facilitator.
Okay, yes, the facilitator. So, in the first half of our task, okay, we had great group discussion, okay, but it was kind of all over the place because everyone was jumping in and we weren't taking our turn. So, our facilitators are person who kind of orchestrates our discussion inside our group. So, they're the one that says, you know, Savion, do you have anything to add? Or they started off and say what they feel is going on in the task. Like, I think we need to do this. Okay, Keandra, what do you think? Okay, I will say this. The second half of this task, I thought the facilitator did a much better job. Okay, so for that to be a growth of ours, I thought that that was excellent. All right, so, but real quick, before we have to go, I do want to just discuss real quick. Hold on real quick. We need to go over questions A and B, and then we'll get you guys there. So, question A says, which month, okay, let's sit up, Amari. Mine. Philando. Okay, I'll get you there as soon as we're done discussing A and B. Because remember, guys, our norm, we're not going to the bathroom during our task, right? When we finish. Okay? Which month has the most birthdays in, sorry, no. It's on you. Okay? What is the most common bedtime, okay, for your class? And how can you tell? Okay, what was the most common bedtime for our class, and how could we tell? Imani?
The most common bedtimes were 9 and 10 p.m.
Okay.
9 and 10 o'clock p.m.
Okay, and how did you know that?
I do that by looking at each sticky note to see which time each person goes to the.
Okay. Anyone want to add on to that? Monisha?
We use it.
Track Monisha. Everybody should be tracking Monisha. 3, 2, 1. We're tracking Monisha. Go ahead, Monisha.
I disagree because the most common bedtime is between 11 and 11:45.
Okay, and how did you know that?
Because if you look at 11 o'clock and 11:30, you say it's 4 of the sticky notes.
Okay. So you're saying between 11:30, which would fall somewhere here, and what? No,
11 and 11:45.
Sorry, 11 and 11:30, and you're saying because there are 1, 2, 3 sticky notes in between those two intervals, then that's the
Most common bedtime.
most common bedtime. Anyone like to add on to that? Robert?
I thought it was 10 o'clock.
Okay, tell me why you thought it was 10.
Because she told us it was 10.
Who told you? Okay, so Antonia, why did you choose 10 when you came up here? That was the most common bedtime. Okay, you thought 10 had the most people. Okay, so let me ask a question for you guys real quick. If I were to come to this graph, we have some varying opinions about the most common bedtimes. If I'm using our scatter plot to figure out what the most common bedtime is, and I'm using our scatter plot, what am I looking for when I come up here? What will tell me what the most common bedtime is? Okay, think about it for a second. Okay, what will tell me what the most bedtime is? What am I looking for? Tyler. Okay, and how would I know that by looking at our scatter plot?
Between every head and the most.
Okay, would it be lined up? So for instance, what I think I hear you say is that you're saying, for instance, for if the most common time was 11, then it would be, everything would be stacked on top of 11 o'clock? Is that what you're saying? Okay. Anyone have anything different or a different idea? Okay. Let me go back to Alicia real quick. Alicia, tell me again, why did you say that it was between, okay, 11 and 11, sorry, what did you say, 10?
No, 11 and 11:45.
Okay, 11 and 11:45.
Because it's not exactly on 11. It's not, all of them not exactly on 11. All of them not exactly on 11.
Right.
And it's a 1, then it's 11:45. And you can't count that.
Okay, so you're,
between 11 and 11:45.
okay, so you're taking a range of numbers between a certain amount of time, okay? All right, real quick, let's look at B, and then we'll wrap up because I gotta get you guys to recess. All right, so, what's the norm? B, which dot represents the students who get the most sleep, the least sleep, and how much sleep does each of these students get? Okay, which represents the most sleep and the least amount of sleep in our class, and how much sleep do those two groups get? Say
The people
okay, can I hear it? Everybody should be tracking. Say 3, 2, 1, track. Robert, you have this answer.
So the people that go to bed before 6 o'clock.
Okay. People who
Get the most sleep are
okay, so the people who get the most sleep are people who go to bed between 10 and 5. And say, how did you know that? By looking at our scatter plot.
because if you would count from 10:30 all the way to the time you
That's
wake
a lot. I
up,
can't hear you.
if you come to the time, big time, all the way to the time that you wake up,
Okay, so let me rephrase that if I can. Did you say that if you count the numbers that they went to bed from the time that they woke up, then
you will get a certain amount of hours.
is there a specific time that you found?
What was that one at 7?
7 hours of sleep? Okay, and tell me how, looking at that graph, how did you figure that out?
Because we just counted from 10 all the way to the time that most people go.
All right, so I think what I'm hearing you say is that you found the most common time that people went to sleep, and then what time they most commonly woke up, and then you counted how many hours of sleep that they got in between the two. Okay? Anyone want to add on or say something different, Mackenzie?
We said that
Tracking Mackenzie.
we said the dots to the left represent the kids that got the most sleep. And then we said the dots to the right represent the kids that got the least sleep.
Okay, say that one more time.
The dots to the left represent the kids that got the most sleep. And then the dots to the right represent the kids that got the least sleep.
Okay, can you explain that? Why do the dots to the left or to the right give you the most or least sleep?
Because the dots, if you look at x-axis,
Okay.
the numbers that's to the
Yeah.
the x-axis, when you look to the left,
Okay.
9 o'clock, and that's the least people go to sleep, and it's most people. If you look on the x-axis to the left, that's the least number, and then if you go to the right, it's more numbers on that side. I mean, it's the great numbers on the right.
So, say that one more time and then whoa. Listen, say that one more time, and what I need you to do is tell me what those numbers represent. Like the numbers to the right, is that like an earlier bedtime, a later bedtime? And then the numbers to the left, is that, you know, are they going to bed earlier or later? Okay, let's try that one more time, you're on the right track.
The numbers to the right on the numbers to the right on the x-axis at the bottom
Okay.
is the least. That's the least bedtime, and then the numbers to the right.
So that's the earliest. Okay, so when we say the least bedtime, are you saying that they go to bed early?
Yes.
Okay, so Hold on, let her finish and I'll let you. This is great though. I'll let you chime in.
I'm trying to
Go ahead.
The numbers to the left, or not the what the earliest bedtime based on the graph.
Right, okay.
And then the numbers to the right are the greatest numbers based on the graph.
Right.
Greatest, latest bedtime based on the graph.
Right. Okay, Lanisha?
Okay, she's trying to say that 9:30 is the guys to the left, like all the ones mainly this way, mainly 9 from 10 down to 9.
Okay, from 10 a.m. to 9 a.m.
10 p.m.
10 p.m.
That's when people get the most.
There it is,
But
okay.
from 10:30 down, that's when people don't get that much sleep when they go to sleep. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, so did everybody hear? Henry, what did Lanisha just say? Can you rephrase what she just said for us?
What she said is that the people from, I think, from 10 to 12, they get less sleep. The people from 9 and back, they get more sleep.
Okay.
Because they sleep earlier.
Okay, and then one last. Bailey, put that in your own words. What did we just hear Henry and Lanisha say? What dots represent the group of students that received the most sleep in our class?
The 9 o'clock.
Okay, so let me help you. Let me have them help you out, and then I'm coming right back to you. Henry, say it again from him. Everybody listening and tracking to Henry. Okay, and then Henry, and then Bailey, make sure you're paying attention because I'm coming right back to you. Okay, Henry, explain that again.
The people who sleep after 10 got less sleep because they sleep late, and the people who sleep at 9 and they got more sleep.
Okay, so let me just rephrase what you're saying. So what Henry is saying that the group of students that are modeled here, are represented here to the right, got less sleep because they are going to bed later. Okay, but getting up roughly the same time as everyone else. And the group of students who are represented here to the left of the graph go to bed earlier, and they're waking up a little bit later, therefore they're getting more sleep. Okay, so what, in your own words, can you paraphrase what I just said? As far as the question is, what group of students get more sleep or less sleep?
The ones that are farther in,
To the
right,
to the left.
left, get more.
Okay.
And then the people to the right, because they're going to sleep earlier and waking up.
Well, are these kids over here going to sleep earlier, or are they going to sleep later? They're going to sleep later, okay? All right, guys, not a bad, all right, we're done. All right, so we'll